Hey, welcome back. How are you all doing? I hope you all are doing good. This is the second video of our series. So this is related to is matter around us. Today in this video we will understand about matter, introduction to matter. Okay, without any further delay, let's get started. So matter can be defined as anything having mass and occupies space. That's called as matter. So mass means content of matter in a body, or it is just the quantity of atoms, we can say, that constitute as mass. And having mass, definitely mass occupies space, and matter is composed of tiny particles. Those are called as atoms. So matter exists in three different states: solid, liquid, and gas. But there are two more states as well. You will get to know about those two more states in your higher grades. Those are Bose-Einstein condensate and plasma. Now let us move ahead and understand a very interesting topic, that is, what are the examples that do not qualify for matter, or that do not qualify for the statement of matter, or that are not material. Okay, so moving ahead, we can also say that matter is living and non-living. So in case of living, we can include plants and animals, broadly, microorganisms also. In case of non-living things, we can include anything non-living: solid, okay, liquid, and all the gases. So we will come to the differentiation between solid, liquid, and gas in coming up videos, and we will also try to understand what makes solid as it is, and what makes liquid, and what makes gas as it is. Okay, so moving ahead to the examples of things that are not matter. So if anything is not matter, it means that it doesn't have any mass, or it doesn't occupy any space or volume. So not having mass, that means not having matter, not having atoms in it, that means it does not exist. Okay, so it does not exist. That means these all things are abstract things that does not have any physical characteristics. So we can include very interesting word over here in order to clarify or have a good understanding of these abstract things. The things that do not have physical physical characteristics. Okay, no physical characteristics. So let's understand the examples basically. The examples in this case are, here are the examples in this case. So you can include vacuum, software, emotions, all type of emotions, happy emotions, sad emotions, okay? Rainbow, information, memories, energy, all sort of energy, music, magnetism, time, shadow, and dreams, and gravity. All these are not matter. Okay, they are not categorized in as matter. You can add up some more examples in this case by going online and consulting some online resources, or you can uh, see in the books as well. Okay, and one more thing, the very common characteristics among all these examples is they do not have mass, they do not occupy space. So that is the very common characteristics among all these examples, whatever has been shown on the screen. Moving ahead, let us understand what makes solid, why some matter is in the solid state, why some in liquid state, and others are in gaseous state. So it all depends upon the characteristic of particle of matter. Since matter is made up of particles, there are certain characteristics of particles of matter. The first characteristic we can understand is that basically particles of matter do never stay at rest, first of all. Okay, though the magnitude of their movement or motion differs from one state to another state, but they do not remain at rest, or they do not remain at one place. Another characteristic is that they have interparticle space. Particles of matter have space between them. Say, for example, if these are two particles of any type of matter, the space between them is interparticle space. Okay, and this varies. Okay, this varies from solid to liquid and liquid to gas. So it is very least or negligible in case of solids. It is intermediate in case of liquids, and it is very large, or we can say there is very large space between the particles in case of gaseous state. Now, this interparticle space is related to another characteristic of particles of matter, and that characteristic is particles of matter attract each other. That's interparticle force of attraction. Okay, so as the space increases, this interparticle force of attraction, yes, it decreases. But as the space decreases, particles are coming closer to each other. They start interacting more and more with each other. So hence they increase their interparticle force of attraction. Got it? Very good. Now, one more thing is that you can definitely change this interparticle space and interparticle force of attraction by increasing or decreasing temperature of a substance or temperature of a state of a matter. As the temperature increases, the particles start moving here and there very quickly then, and they increase their kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is the energy by virtue of which a particle is in motion. So when their kinetic energy increases, okay, so vibration start get, so it all starts with a vibration. Vibration increases and the particles start feeling free, and their kinetic energy start increasing. As you keep on increasing the temperature of a substance, what will happen? A point, okay, a point will reach, or a temperature will reach, when there will be uh, at least we can say there will be very less interparticle force of attraction between the particles, and at that point it will change, the substance will change its state. Okay, so if you were working with the solid state, if you were heating a solid, it will change into liquid. If you continue heating the liquid state of the matter as well, so further there is increase in the interparticle space, and further there is decrease in the interparticle force of attraction, and the liquid will eventually get converted into vapors or gases. So gaseous state is the one in which there is a huge interparticle space and very least or negligible interparticle force of attraction. That's why they are that much compressible. That's why they are that much occupying a little amount of gas is occupying that much huge amount of volume, or a huge volume of gas can be compressed in just a little amount of space. That is how gases behave. It all depends upon their interparticle force of attraction and interparticle space. Got it? So we will go through the solid, liquid, and gas, their differentiation, what they are, and how they differ from one another in coming up videos. But right now, it is all about characteristics of particles of matter. And one more thing about matter is that matter show diffusion. Matter show diffusion. Diffusion in the sense, hold on, let me clear the slide. The particles of matter are continuously moving. So one particle or one type of particle or one type of matter, when it combines or mixes with another type of particles or another type of matter on its own, okay, so that thing is called diffusion. See, I'll be giving you some examples of diffusion to have a clear idea about the process. Say, suppose one of your friend is spraying perfume, so you get a fragrance of, we get the fragrance of the perfume from a distance even, isn't it? So how that perfume, fragrance of that perfume or aroma of that perfume, how that reach to you? So it all is due to diffusion. The particles of perfume diffuse into the particles of air or atmosphere. So they get carried away to you, and then, okay, so you can perceive the fragrance. Same is the case with whenever there is somebody is cooking delicious recipe in the kitchen and you get the aroma. Okay, so get the aroma from any other part of your house. So how that reach to you? That's once again diffusion. Okay, and if you suppose drop a ink, if you pour an ink drop in water, so that will eventually separate into the water, isn't it? So definitely that's due to diffusion. Okay, so what we can easily understand that if we drop something into hot water, say ink into hot water, okay, say salt into hot water, okay, so say alcohol in hot water, so that will definitely, but you should not be forcibly you should not force it to get diffused into it. So leave it and see after some time what will happen. So basically it will definitely diffuse more into hot water than in cold water. It means that diffusion has definitely and directly affected by temperature. As the temperature increases, diffusion increases. Okay, got that? So you can add up some more examples in this case, in case of diffusion. So you can look some other resources as well. So just consult, okay?